All right. We meet again in my private lair. Today, I am representing Team Naughty. If you're gonna have a faux race car, we're gonna have a faux race team. There ain't nothing that makes a race car quite as zoomy as a fantastic wing. That's right, I ordered the cheapest wing I could find online because that's the starting point. We're definitely gonna have some rear accoutrement. It's a French word for fitting out this Le Mans styled faux race car. I tell you, it's the engine hoist with 1,000,001 uses. I like this. This is representative of, that wing thing. And mostly these vertical parts. I love this. I want to do a little flashback. A couple viewers mentioned this. Viewers also mentioned the wing and a number of other things. But somebody said, hey, why don't you do a quick wrap up of what happened with this car from the beginning? That way, if we're new to the project, we understand where it came from. With the help of a little, maybe a slideshow. I got a few photos. But the most important things to keep in mind is this isn't a race car. It's not looking like a race car. This is a cartoon vehicle. And it's gonna get weirder than this, trust me. These are like the bare bones. I know it's taken years to get to this point, but the slot cars, the clear plastic sides. We're gonna have a lot of plastic elements in this, right? So imagine, clear or colored plexiglass accents all over this thing. Started with a 68 Volkswagen Beetle. Took it off the chassis. Immediately, we Z'd the chassis, we raised the tunnel. That's how we're ending up with it so low. It's an 8-inch chassis drop. You have to go back and see the other videos. Pretty radical. I can look in here and show it. But we're talking about this right now. I'll get in there and show it later when I crawl in. It's got an adjustable front beam. The tunnel of the pan is canted up a little bit. The tunnel in the car, the backbone is usually straight through to the front suspension. Right here, we cut it and we brought it back up a little bit. It puts some caster, makes it ride better. Has an adjustable front beam with lowered spindles, disc brakes, special ball joints for the clearance. I mean, it's got everything. The beam's even narrowed a little bit. I think it's narrowed 2 inches because we're running adapters on the front and I didn't want to get crazy wide. Although it is much wider. They're 10-inch wide rims in the back and 8-inch wide in the front. I think they're 15s and they're 14s. Anyway, we took the original body and we put this wagon roof on it. It's fiberglass, it looked funky. I had a Baja nose. We had heart-shaped headlights, we had heart-shaped taillights. It was a wagon. It's got a Cadillac speedometer. These doors are going to slide out hydraulically and tilt up. Then I started changing my mind. This is the roof skin off Jamie's 41 Mercury. These are 32 Ford reproduction fiberglass fenders. These are actually Model A steel fender parts that bring that little tail to the shape it's at. And then as I started getting into it, we redid the entire inside of the body because it's just completely unique. It does have new floor pans that are stock Beetle floor pans, but this was damaged, so I got another body. And then we mixed the two Beetle bodies together and then started moving along on the process. Years go by, we move, and I lose all the parts that were cut off of the original vehicle in the move. We scrapped them. So I get another Beetle body, that's this white one here, and we start jamming on this part of the project. So now we're up to this rear wing scenario. There's still more detail in the front, we're gonna get to that. But I'm having ideas, you know. A lot of weird prototype race car stuff back in the day. So what if there was like an air splitter here? Maybe that was fiberglass. I mean, we have a clear splitter. Well, we have like a horizontal wind splitter here. Maybe that's the acrylic as well. You know, this is just a model of something we can build off. Today we're going to create the mounting points for this. So don't think any of this looks like it is, okay? There's one box in there somewhere, and I wanted to show you one thing that our friend Heidi and I developed, the Chuki hand. All right, so Heidi and I started playing around with all these different acrylic ideas. We came up with some neat stuff for the dashboard, etc. So with everybody talking about paint schemes, etc., this is more of a psychedelic freak show than an actual race car. These are going to be the wheel covers, and the wheel covers are going to have lights mounted in them. And the wheels aren't going to look like they're going perfectly round. They're going to be spiraling out, if you can dig it. I just felt like it was worth mentioning at this point because you know, people might not understand like where this is going, but it's going to have a lot of colored elements and light backlit to really show off what's going on here. So it's really hard to describe the look that we came up with, but you see it on these larger trucks, the way they'll backlight around the brake rotor or drum. So we're going to do something like that to get all these glowing equally. So that's all I'm saying. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. So imagine you have this kind of plastic face on everything, front to back. So not that these will be round. That's why I'm bringing these up. You know, these are 15, so you have two larger discs to the rear, but then something here. Not that this will be round, but I'm thinking something that will complement this sort of plastic wall, sort of like the slot cars. Everything is just straightforward. And I really want this wing to be mounted like this picture. Somebody sent that in, thank you. Instead of having this typical two risers off of the trunk lid in your typical Honda car, this is going to be more airplane inspired. Coming from the back here, there's going to be inspiration taken from these Porsches, something that is a very metal shaped accessory holder that supports this wing. So that's what brings us to today's mission. You know, I want some very metal showing armature coming up to grab the center of this wing. And I thought the way that this body line will be detailed, similar to what we did on the roof here, that armature is going to grow right off of the skin of the roof. It's going to be split. So imagine like the tail of an early aircraft coming back with the vertical wing and then the split. This is only going to be the split. There'll be no vertical wing. But the armature, I think I want it to come down the body and then come up behind and hold it from the top like those Porsche dyno cars. So the metal comes around and grabs it right in the center. It appears to be just holding it like a monster would hold the stick shift. Monster, stick shift, wing. Are we grooving? I feel like we're grooving. Kind of a long intro. Let's get to work. I got this little curvy template left over, but these are always just ideas. What's gonna determine these angles is my tubing bender, I'm sure. I'm sure for sure. But see, something that comes down, up and around. Got this 1-inch round tube, and I thought that would be perfect. We can splice this down so it sets right to the body. This is always part of the body. Only the wing comes off. So this is going to bend at some angle, maybe that angle. Or does it come out and then up? It could come out and curve up, then be vertical. I think I like that. I think I like it vertical because it's just like flat, flat, and nothing interferes with the engine coming in or out or tuning it. So let's do this. Let's find the angle to basically level. I'm looking at that right now, and I bet I could just eyeball it. But we'll pull a piece of template wire. Yeah, I just got this welding wire. And we just want it to kind of, match the angle of that fan shroud, which I imagine should be reasonably horizontal. Yeah, so that's the angle of the first bend. Let's make 2 of these. All right, so I got a 20-foot stick of steel tube. It's gonna be 1 inch, 16 gauge wall. I'm gonna do a quick measurement on this and just see how much I need. So it looks plus or minus like about 4 feet per. I have a 10-foot section. So we're gonna do 2, we're gonna go 4 and 8. Let's see how that works. I'm gonna cut 2 4-foot pieces. All right, I cheated these because I'm trying to save material. I cut these at 3'6". And we're gonna wanna start our bend at 12 inches. I'll mark both of these at a foot. All right, so we wanna mimic the angle of that welding rod template. We have to make 2, so I always use this as a little gauge. We got 1 click, 2 click, 3 click. I bet it's 4. I wish I had a tighter die to really change it up. Because that gives it a real organic feel when it has a multiple radius bends, if they're all the same 6-inch radius, then it tends to look a little less artsy, I think. But that's all we got. Beggars can't be choosers, and winners can't be losers. It's a little racing ideology. You ain't first, you're last. Roof, angle, correct. Now we want this to bend up. Let's start the bend right here. See, I want this wing to be literally flying off the car. So it's gonna be up and back, for a little more radical appearance. But I can achieve that in a few different ways. We'll get into that in a moment. Just getting these 2 together. So our bending marks are in sync. All right, so we know this is horizontal. We're gonna turn this up 90 degrees. And if it's not horizontal, that's fine too, because all that really matters is they look the same. Whether this is level truly or not is irrelevant. What we want though is our typical, this needs to be on the same plane as the tubing bender. We have to do a little envisioning right here. Let's lock this. That looks good. This is secure. Because this tool is neither level or square or anything, try to get these to be on the same plane. And really the way I've found to do that is look right through here. It's got to twist up a little bit, and I've been pretty dang successful. I just eyeballing it right like that. Yep. Through the center of the die. Twist this just a wee bit. And now we're going to count the clicks again. The end result is square, so I'll grab a framing square once we're close. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We knew 6 brings it even, so let's go for 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not there yet. Coming back to the next rung. 12, that's not 90. 13, that's not 90. That's getting close. 14. Still a long ways to go. Going for a full pull. Keep going. Okay, here we come, right to 90 degrees. That looks good there. Yeah, right there. Cool. So yeah, we went over a little bit, but that ain't no foul. That, oh no, we didn't bend it enough. Interesting. Sprung back. All right. These thinner wall tubes are quite springy, and you will get that. The thick wall kind of just stresses and holds itself. Really thin stuff springs back. No problem. Let's pull it again. All right, let's go a little bit more. Now hopefully we're a little bit over. Yeah, just a touch past it. Now we can just a little relax. There it is. Just a little touch more back. All right. See what I'm saying? It's coming down the roof, going up behind the wing, holding it. And the fact that it lays flat on the table is really what we're looking to establish twice. That's locked, that's cool. Let's check this. Good. Hold it. Compare the two. Yes, I like it. Sweet, it worked. Let's look at the car. Yes. Totally cool. All right, so I think I'm just going to build these together. What we have to do now is cut this so it lays flat. I don't want that on there so much. So let's go and take this right down to 0. That is 0 right here. Do the same here. All right, so you see what we're doing? We're giving this a slice so that it sets to the car. Okay, that's exactly what I was hoping. So this one goes on this side and this one goes on this side. It sits there just like that. Love it. Super groovy, right on the weld. And we want this to be vertical. What happens if this one's on this side? Does that make any difference? Actually works a little bit better like this. Let's do that. I'm gonna clean some paint off of this. All right, so I want this piece coming down to about here, and then this has to be vertical on both of them. I'm not worried about this end or anything just yet. We're gonna work all that out in time. Just wanna be sure that my cut end is on the sheet metal. This is here. Let me just do this. But let's just check this with the level. So that's level right there. Put a tack on here. Looking at the level. I'll be able to bend this a little bit, but I want it in the ballpark. Okay, let's set up the other one just like it. Somebody was commenting about the welder, that noise you hear, it sounds like a siren. It's this welder. It's a welding shop. It's gonna sound like a welder. They're complaining about it. Yeah, cool. So, this is a little bit puffier than that side. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this. Let's just put this wing here and take a look. See, what I'm trying to do is give this rear end of the car some reason. You know, before you had this weird trunk shaped thing hanging off. Now I know if I had thought out my plan before, and we might not have to do this kind of rethinking of things, but that looks pretty good, right? I want it really dramatic, like those Porsche cars where it's just like it's a sail hanging up in the back. So you got your airflow here, and you got this radical kind of shape coming up off the back. This is cool. Let's support this framework. Let's support that, and we're going to come up with some kind of a line that adds to the flow of this roof. So just for temporary, I'm going to make a square piece of sheet metal just to hold those two. And I'm going to put a couple tacks across here temporary just to hold it braced. We just don't want to get too heavy, cause it to want to buckle this. So we're going to go 8 inches. All right, cool. So now those are in tandem, in parallel. We're going to check this as being vertical. Could come over just a wee bit. Just a little bit like that. There we are. Cool. Let's lock all this up. All right, we got that square, we got that secure. I like it. Now, some people may have missed that statement. The roof scoop is going to have an interior chamber, so that's going to further strengthen this. It's going to attach to the underside that's pretty much here and pierce through the body to give the fan air. People are asking about the water coming through, etc. So it is what it is. The water's just going to drain out. This isn't going to be driven or raced in the rain, so it's not like we're going to be feeding the cooling air of the engine, soaking water. It's a toy. Let's not forget. All right, so we're going to want a trifecta. And I think we can just bring a round tube in a nice graceful shape to this. Starting to run out of room. Let's just drop this as much as we can. Right, so it's going to be sitting just a little bit lower than this. We want to bring something to help the roof flow and to help that thing hold strength-wise. Or do we just come straight through? What do we know about that? Looks very mechanical. It feels like that race car also. Does it not fit the flow? I don't know, that doesn't bother me. I think we're going to want it to attach the same place. I think that's it. Yeah, this is really how I'm feeling. Like maybe this tube right here will just bend vertical. See what I'm saying? It'll start somewhere over here and it'll just turn up, so you'll have 3. That'll triangulate it. Let's put this on the bender, pull a 90-degree bend and see what it looks like. See what I'm saying? This is going to be the center. Right there. It's going to tap in to that. Totally cool. So, yeah, it looks like a pretty groovy armature too. So see, this is coming up tall. Let's put a bend on this one. So it does the same thing as those. Yeah, right there. Cool. Okay, so we had our template there of what we wanted. I think it was 4 pulls, right? 1, 2, 3. Or was it 6 pulls? Might be 6. 4. Let's do one more. You can always unbend it. That's what we're looking for as that comes in. Yeah, it's got to be up considerably more. A couple others. I'll be right back. Yeah, totally cool. Love it. I like it. Okay, let's get this wing up out of the way. So all we're looking for at this point is that these are even. We want them parallel, centered. So when you're looking at it from the rear with this plate off, it's a nice little triangle. There's going to be some gussets in here, definitely. We're just starting at this. I want this right on the center of those two. Right here. And we're going to mess with the height. Just going to tack this. Our temporary. We got 3, and we got 2 7/8, just a little bit over. I'll hammer that down a little bit. All right, now this is pretty floppy. I'm just gonna put a shim in here. We're gonna act like we're not looking at that shim. This is gonna get stronger, trust me. We just, as we're building weight onto it, we don't want it to sag. So we're not looking at that shim. It doesn't exist. Nope, it's perfect. Very strong. Okay, this looks groovy. I'm gonna leave this plate here for now, but we're going to add something in here later. I don't know what yet. All right, so now this thing is gonna sit somewhere here. So what we have is this series of bolt holes, and that's a really good place to bolt to. But I want it to look deceptive through the top. In other words, something's gonna pierce this. You're not gonna see any hardware. It's gonna disappear through this and bolt up from underneath. All right, so what do we do to bring these 3 down? So you want these to turn down really tight, really quickly. Do we switch this design? Do we cap this off and have a different detail go through there? I feel like we could get away with a big flat piece, maybe something that mimics this, and then a vertical post could just go down to the hardware. Yeah, I think that might be the answer. So what I'm thinking is like an 8-inch piece that just comes up and over. What do we have? We have this big flat thing. So maybe if we could cap it like this, then have a hidden mount. Okay, let's cut this at 8 1/4, because that'll just be a little bit wider than this. We'll try to put it in a sheet metal brake and see what happens. This is pretty thick for the sheet metal brake, but at only an 8-inch piece, when that's rated for 8 feet, it might do it. Let's see what we can do. See if this makes any sense. We can take this, let's put it in the middle, let's just see if it can bend it. That's pretty darn thick, but it's not very long. Yeah. I did bend it though. So if this thing was sitting here like this, this thing was below like that, totally do that. We could bend it like right here. That'll be an awesome grab. All right, we're gonna try to pull this like to a 90 degrees. I might break that brake. No. Just seeing how this stressed the tool. I'm gonna bring it over to my vise. We're going to bend it at 3 inches with either a big lever or a big hammer. Cool. Now in a perfect world, I'd have a big, well, I got a big hammer. I was gonna say in a perfect world, I'd have almost like a big spatula with 2 blades, and I just push it on there and go, pull it over. Now I do have my giant wrench. Maybe I could just clamp it on a piece of plate and pull it like that. Yeah. See that? There's a million ways around everything. We're just gonna double this up, like so. I put the wrench on it, like so. Tighten that wrench up. I'm gonna give it a full pull. Is that correct? That's correct. Whoa, that is a full pull, ain't it? Yeah. There it is. All right, let's all remember that trick. Piece of angle iron on the back. Piece of 3/16 plate on the piece of 3/16 plate on the front. One big wrench of ice and a successful bend. Yes, yes. Okay, so now we're gonna want this to be a little bit tighter bend. I'll be right back. Totally cool. Love it. So, I don't know, we're starting to really drag on here. Let me trim these to fit. Let me make sure that this thing is horizontal. Well, that's debatable, right? Our flat tire, the car might not be level. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, it's showing that that's level, but how do we even find level on a car like this? Who knows? You know, we'll be able to make that wing adjustable. That's right. So we have a definite square off of this to this. I'm gonna cut straight across the top, and then we're gonna trim this to fit this. And we're just gonna take a look. I might just clamp it on for today before I make the actual mounting plates. So let's take this plate, and we're gonna trim this. Definitely gonna trim it out. We're gonna do this for the moment, because it's gonna have some other details on it for the end result, definitely. But let's just true this. 3 nice happy tack welds. So I can clamp this on now and position it, and we're gonna weld underneath. How do we know if this is centered? It's not that important that it's centered at the moment. Let's try to eyeball it. No, I think we're gonna do this instead. Yep, little change of plans. We're gonna do this. It's gonna look a lot cleaner with this being below it. Sometimes it works that way. Now we can definitely center it. How's it looking from your angle? I can't see it yet. Let me just clamp this and take a look. Then we're gonna decide if we're gonna weld this thing or not. Yep, because looking at it from here, this angle, that's what we want to see. I want to see that thing floating out with that interesting armature coming up on the back. All right, cool. Let's weld this and take off this back piece. All right, so this is super hot right now, and it's still very flexible. So we don't want to mess with the plastic on this just yet. So let's look at this. So I really like this armature. Just gonna cut these off for right now. right here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna finish this. Probably just gonna disappear up into here, but this is definitely too long. Takes away from the visual. See what I'm saying? These will probably just blend up and through. Let's see how hot this is.
Hello.
Don't startle me like that.
I like your newest decorations up
Well,
on the wall.
you know, if you're gonna get weird, why stop halfway? You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get weird, just do it to it. You know they glow in the dark?
Oh, really?
You gotta wait till the party starts.
We should have a party in here later.
Party starts after midnight.
What's going on? I've been editing. Hi, everyone. Thanks for all the wonderful comments about my editing.
Well, as soon as you walked in, you said, it stinks, it reeks. It's thick, the air's thick.
Of creativity.
And metal.
And metal.
And dust. A certain air, certain ambiance.
So what's up?
Well, it's not that. That's up, but that's not what's up. I added an appendage to the back of the vehicle today.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because as I age, as I get older, I'm gonna need to like hang my wheelchair up here, and then like it's like a mobility thing. You put my wheelchair here and then scoot into the automatic doors.
I love it.
Does that make sense?
Perfect.
But while it's not holding the wheelchair in place, we'll have something representative of this.
Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. That's cool.
Right. Does that not feel like the Fast and the Furious?
I mean, it looks like it's going 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I did a whole talk a little bit earlier with our public, with our viewing audience.
Hi, everyone.
And I described how, don't get stuck on this. Don't get stuck on the fact that it's black. I bought the least expensive appendage I could find, and we're working towards that. Like, I love this vertical shape. So we're going to enhance. I'm going to use one of the terms from a master. We're going to enhance in this direction, and then we're going to enhance this. We're going to bring it all together. But we needed some kind of interesting structure to start with. So this isn't finished. It's just a step in the direction. So see here. In the last video, we brought that line from the hood across the top of the roof. Mm-hmm. It's going directly into this eventually. Mm-hmm. Then these two dimensional layers are going to follow through. It's going to be like a whole
really cool
organic thing happening.
Wow.
And I was talking about this, right? And I was talking about this. And then there's going to be some of that. Some of that. That, and that.
It looks great.
Thank you. It's a work in progress. We're probably never going to finish this car, but let's enjoy the ride.
That's not true.
That's not true. We're going to finish one day.
We want to take it to a car show around here locally.
I'm taking it to that big race in France.
No,
we will do an exhibition pass.
You know what we should do? We should, when they have the Barrett Jackson, we should drive it over there and park in the parking lot.
We could do that. We're only about 1 hour away from where that giant auction happens.
It's fine.
But as one of our great mentors said years and years ago, little by little.
Little by little.
One thing at a time. It's the journey, not the destination. How you feeling?
I love it. I love Team Naughty. I got to make myself a shirt that says Team Naughty.
I said that. If we're going to have a faux race car, we need a faux race team.
Now I see why you put that on today.
For the win.
Oh, I never know what you're going to come up with in here. I love it.
Get freakier every day.